good? What's good, everybody? First of all, I love y'all. How was your weekend? Welcome to Gang. Always on time. This is like my star. First of all, don't judge me because I'm big back in it thirst style. I have tea that I had to make earlier. What is going on with my light? Anyway, I had made tea earlier um, with lemon and ginger. Like I boiled it and then made tea, put some honey in it. But then what had happened was one of my twins had stopped by and bought me this Slurpee. So now I'm like,
So basically, all I heard was you tried to make a cup of tea, but you didn't even make a real cup of tea. Then you drank something else, and now you're telling me about making a cup of tea.
what's going on, Smiles? What
Okay.
happened was yeah, there's that. And so yeah, like wine.
Well, if you lot don't know what a cup of tea is, yeah, obviously you've not been to the UK. And us Brits, we love our tea. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. If you come to the UK, you could break a fingernail, you could break a leg. You need a cup of tea, honestly. Anyway, I'll stop
Yo,
talking.
up here talking shit. All we did was just all I, you know what I mean?
Well, you started it. I just was telling them what. You said one popcorn. I'm saying one popcorn.
Okay, so let me address the elephant in the room. I'm not sure how I feel about us being wedged between my boobs like this in this backdrop picture.
Oh, I didn't even notice that till you pointed that out. Well, okay, I don't
Well, of
mind
course,
looking at your
I'm
boobies
going to
if
point
you
it
want me
out because
to.
I'm staring at them like, whoa.
I think honestly, like I was
Shout
actually
out to the
I was
background
thinking about
creator.
tea.
All right, so let's get into some stuff. We already here. You already know what it is. We're going to make some laughs, some giggles. We may or may not yell at somebody's son and or daughter. But for the most part, we just gonna love on you at the end of it and give you our honest opinion. So let's cue up something to talk about. What we at? Where we at today?
Oh, now we know that you lot still don't know about tea. I don't know what's more important.
Fair use, y'all. Let's see what we got going. Let's see. Let's get a blind reaction going. Where we starting at today? I know we're gonna fight this light.
Search, I found out that most women never marry the man they really want to be with. Oh, I'm about to mess up the church's money, ain't it? Let me tell you, this is how I figured it out. Let me tell you something you've never heard a man say since you've been alive. You've never heard a man say this since you've been on this planet. You've never heard a man say, she grew on me. But every woman knows a woman who would say in front of the man she loved, committed to God, financed the wedding and his family. When I first met him, he was not my type at all. He was short. He was going bald. He had little small hands. I don't like men with small hands, but I mean, eventually he grew on me. That is the rudest thing to say about a man you spending the rest of your life with. This man grew on you like a scab, like a wart, like eczema. I did some research. I found out that most women never marry the man they really want to be with. Oh, I'm about to mess up the church's money, ain't it? Let me tell you, this is how I figured it out. Let me tell you something you've never heard a man say since you've been alive. You've never heard a man
Wait,
say.
you can pause there, right? He
Never
about
heard
to
a man.
repeat the same thing. Mm, mm. Just star. What is with this light?
Pardon?
Come on, Eric, where's your
I'm
face?
on my other
Ha-
little rubbish cup as
All
well. So if you
right,
can
so my question is, my first question, mamas, is have you have you ever dated somebody that you settled for?
yes, for a little bit, and then realized I was settling and stopped doing it.
Well, have you ever dated somebody that you settled for and you knew ahead of time?
No.
No. Ooh, you're a good one. I can't say that. I've met people and I was like, you know what, that ain't even me, but you know what I mean? We gonna see what happened. I should have just stuck with what, you know what I mean? If I was gonna waste my time, I should have just wasted my time with what I like, is the moral of the story. I just want to know why I'm so big. But it's cool. I don't know. Did I lose my sidekick? I probably did. Anyway, so I want to know, somebody comment, I don't care, but have you ever dated somebody that you settled for, and why? What made you settle? Anybody want to comment? Salute.
All right, salute to everybody. I am here.
Here, Mr.
I'm
Full
here. I'm
Time.
here momentarily though. It's only momentarily though.
Momentarily, you
Don't y'all
come
get
on.
excited because it ain't gonna be long.
As long as it takes, darling.
Don't do it to yourselves.
Salute.
'Cause as
Have you
soon
ever
as,
dated? Have you ever settled?
as soon as we get the car started, I'm hopping out.
Oh my goodness. How you doing, darling?
Good. What's good?
Rufus, I'm gonna let you rock, OG. I'm gonna let you rock, even though you don't have a wrench yet and you're not a part of my business. I'm gonna let you rock today. I'm gonna let you rock. I'm an engineer smooth, so I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna drop down, but I'm gonna let you rock. Go
Okay,
ahead
so
and let
then I
you ask
guess
me
I'll
whatever you
ask
want. I'm dropping.
Ruthless. Ruthless, have you ever settled for
No,
someone that you didn't want to, that wasn't your type?
no.
Why not?
You have to.
Elaborate.
Well, yeah. I mean, pretty much I get with the women who they're very attractive. It's like an equal attraction, amount of attraction.
Mm.
I don't really believe in too much working hard for someone. If a woman show me that she's least attracted or not as attracted, I'll move on quickly because I don't want to waste my time trying to convince her that I'm more attractive than I really am. Either you, either it's equal attraction or maybe a little bit more on her side. Then I'm going for it. So
Ah,
yeah, that's why I never really had to settle because and plus all my relationships, my the women there's two halves of my life. There's two parts of my life.
hmm
So one part of the first part of my life, a lot of women were choosing, right?
hmm
I just was whoever I thought was the most was the finest, whatever. Okay, I'm going with you, right? Then second part of my life, it was more conversational, right? Whoever like um, we got along or we're in a situation, an environment where we have contact as far as being able to talk to each other. So I made two or three girls there, and then we go from there. So it's more or less situational than it will be random. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's. But I still would never settle. Like if I don't want her, or if I want, or I think she's hot, and she play any game, any type of, if I say a glitch of a game, I'm out.
Okay, so I do understand that, and I respect that. That you've never settled. Um, I salute that. So, question respectfully: have you ever shot your shot at somebody that you thought was outside of your level or your ceiling?
No.
No. So
Yeah,
you've always been like, okay, wherever I'm at, I'm only shooting my shot to other women that's on that exact same level. I'm never going above that.
yeah. Like usually, well, I don't see it that way. You know what I mean? Um, so were there women who had, I would say, at one point they're like managers, and I was just a regular worker. Yeah,
hmm
I guess that would be what you're talking about. I never seen that.
Yeah,
I
I
put
would say in any so say that you were um maybe you were only making say that you currently make six figures, but at the time you were working, you were a telemarketer, you worked at the bank,
right.
and you saw a woman who was intellectually, financially stable, put together, and you were like, you know what, I know that's a little out of my league right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and shoot my shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Type of like, this is where I'm trying to get to, and this is the type of person or type of woman I want to build with. So, since she is where my potential is headed, that's what I want to shoot my shot for. That's what I'm asking specifically.
Well, I guess from a guy's perspective, it's different, right?
I
So,
don't. I don't know.
so
I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah. So for a man, if we see a woman who's educated, good job, career, right? And we're maybe not making as much as her or whatever. It doesn't. We feel that we still see her as equal, right? We don't see her as greater, but it would actually be opposite for me. So let's say a woman who's poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that I was attracted to and that I wanted, I would then think I'm not ready for that, right? I need to be right. If I'm not in position to carry, then I won't pursue all the way, right? I'll be like, okay, because I understand that she's going to be a lot more to carry, and if I'm not in position to make that carry, I would, you know what I mean? So it's opposites. What you're saying is flip it around.
I understand exactly what you're
Yeah.
saying. So,
Right.
so in essence, if she has more, then she is still your equal. But
Yes.
if you have more, then you would not go and get someone who has less than you because
No.
you don't
Let me
feel like
explain to
you're
you.
already
So if
taken
I
care
had
of.
less, right? Let's just say
Uh-huh.
I'm in the struggles. Let's just say I'm above the water, just barely above the water, and I meet a woman, or I see a woman who's lower than me, right? I will pass on that because I'm not in position to court the poor woman. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because I understand that if I get with women like that, and I'm already barely above the water, just barely breathing, you know what I'm saying? And then
Okay,
she's
but wouldn't that be the same? Wouldn't that be the same of the female that you're trying to pursue? Like, okay, so although you would see her as equal, all right, but even though she does more, has more than you, although you see her equal,
right.
in her realm, wouldn't she then be settling for you who has less, although you don't have that grace for the next?
In actuality, no, because in my mind, right? So let's now flip it back to the woman who has the career, who's up top level of me, right? Um, I still have a level of protection that I can offer, right? I have other things as far as bedroom performance. Um, I'm looks wise, attractive wise, I'm pretty up there. So you know what I mean. So it would be, you know what I mean. So I would just the only thing I would have to do in that situation is I would have to be more persuasive and a lot more. I would say romantic, like Romeo Juliet type shit. You know what I mean? I can't just be.
Understood.
Yeah, I
Now,
can't just.
respectfully, because I need for Just Stars to join the conversation, and then I'm going to spin the block back to you. And I love your conversation already. So trust me, I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just trying to get it all gelled in. So let's just say, for instance, I'm Clarissa Shields with my hands and my trigger finger nice. I don't need you for protection. I got me. Let's just say that as far as you, the way that you look, I've had some of the, and I'm not talking about me, I'm just saying in general. Let's just say that my confidence level is on busy. I can pull men and women. I'm not in need of anybody that looks great or not. I've been treated like shit, respectfully, by men who are breathtaking and men who look like shit just alike. So that doesn't interest me either. Take all of that off the table. The only thing I can't offer myself is penis or head because I'm not that bendable. But I'm sure with the right devices, even that could be taken care of. So once I strip that all off the table, I'm still settling. Now, pause right there. Just Star, you said you've never settled. Why?
Well, no, I said I don't think I've deliberately chosen to settle. I said, I might have realized that I wasn't like in a situation that suited me, and then like I would never look at it down like that because it's almost like looking down at someone. It's like I suppose I don't see it in the same way because maybe they weren't right for me. Maybe we wasn't right for each other. Like because I feel like if we're in a relationship, then one day I might be 70%, you might be 30. I might be 50, you might be 50. Like we'll build each other. We'll be 100% plus together. And it's like I don't understand why some of the sentences that brother was just saying in like felt like, and I don't think you realized what you were saying either. And this is the conversations that we need to have because it was like almost like I can't remember what you said. It was something like I need to start taking notes, man. But basically like that. A sentence you said basically about her being lower than you, and then before that you said another sentence. It was like almost like every sentence that you said, even when you was looking up to her, you were still putting her lower than you or can't be above you. And it's like You know what? Women are actually amazing. Like, we give birth to human beings. Like, you know, we have jobs, we live a life. Like, we look after children. Like, you know, we human beings, and it's like, it's just amazing sometimes, like how it becomes like a second thought.
No doubt about it. I appreciate you. I'll bookmark you there. Go ahead, Ruthless. Laying your
So,
plane, sir.
so yeah, with that type of, so they say you have all. I understand already that you will be ahead of the curve.
I'm
So
sorry?
I understand a woman like that will be ahead of the curve. She doesn't
A
need
woman
much, right?
like,
The woman with the career,
okay.
right? Or
Okay,
that
we're
should be
back
ahead
on
of
the
the
same
curve.
page.
So
Mhm.
but I would definitely cater to her ego more to get her. I would cater to her ego. I would find out who her ex was. I've asked her all those questions, and she gonna tell me all the bad shit about all her exes, and then I'm just gonna be opposite of that. I would just more metamorph into them, the opposite of guys, and she's gonna take. I'm
But
telling
how
you,
would you feel if the coin was flipped on its head and she said all them same sentences you said to her?
huh?
Like, everything you just said. Like,
Right,
it's almost like men feel like that they have the power to like say sentences to
right,
us
right.
that we have to do. No, I'm just like, sorry, because then I just want to know how you would feel if a woman said it to you and you had to
Oh, they
like
do it
get
all
this.
the time. It's okay.
Do
Women do
they
it all
though?
the time. We
Well,
both.
I mean, as a woman, we're trying to have a conversation. I'm trying to speak to you about it, and like you're telling me blah blah blah, and I'm just asking you, like, you know, because I don't know many people that say the same things like in the same way as men do that you're saying, and so I'm just trying to ask because as a woman, I know how I feel, but I'm always being told from men how I feel, and I just find it so interesting. So I just wanted to know: have you ever actually asked a woman these sentences in real life?
Yes, I mean, see the thing about it. Everybody, it depends on their level, right?
I don't
So
ask about levels. I'm not asking about their brain capacity. I'm asking, have you ever asked a woman this? Don't care whether you think she's dumb, smart, on your level or below you. Yeah. Have you asked a woman this ever?
have I ever asked a woman is she on my level?
No, no, because obviously you clearly don't think any woman is on your level. I'm asking, have you ever asked the sentences that you're expecting us to answer? Have you ever asked them to a woman once, ever? Whether you think she's below you, above you, or whatever.
So I'm trying to understand the question. So you
Oh my
ask,
God, Steve, it's really not hard to understand. Have you
listen,
ever
maybe you can
asked
help me.
a woman
Is
the
she
same
asking me?
question?
No, I'm just saying, is you asking me? Just trying to get clarification. That's all I'm doing. So you're asking me, have I ever dated
The
women that
questions that you're
on my level?
saying that you want to ask
Based off
women
of
that you
your assumptions, I'm going to assume, I'm
thank
sorry,
you.
just let's see if I can bring some clarity. Based off of the statements that you made, as far as what you can provide to a woman, I believe her question is, have you ever asked a woman directly if she wants what you feel like you're providing to her? Is that correct?
No.
Yeah,
Just are? Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
question to you, sir, is have you ever asked a woman if that is what would make her happy? Is asking about her ex and doing the opposite or giving her the protection and things
Mm-hmm.
of that nature, or do you just assume that that's what she wants?
I don't ask her nothing. I just listen, and you know what I mean. And she tells me everything I need to know, and I adjust. I'm just saying, if I'm in a position where, like I said, I'm just saying, if I'm in a position of, you know what I mean, not where she, like I said, she has everything I have that much, not that much. Then yeah, I'm going not going to ask her shit. I'm just going to listen to everything she says. I'm going to be that ear of the pillow, and she's going to tell me everything I need to know to be with her, right? To make it work. And I just metamorph to that. Just fit like a glue, like a size 10, and we in.
I hear you, sir. All right, I'm gonna bookmark you there. How you doing, Jed?
Hey, how you doing,
How
Malysa?
you doing, Mr. Southside?
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. My Hip Still Move. Now, that's
Trying to figure this out the video.
a screenshot for me, sir. That's what we screenshot at right now. So question posed to you, and I know that you're a married man. So
Mhm.
the question is, have you ever settled? And if so, or if not, why?
Have I ever settled? Yes, I have. I've
Hmm.
settled, but only for the reason being that I didn't know what love was.
Mhm.
I settled into relationship thinking they loved me, thinking that I was in love with them, thinking that it was right. And the only reason, oh yeah, excuse me, the only reason that I know it wasn't right now for sure is because now I know exactly what love feels like. I know what unconditional true love feels like now. And that certainly wasn't my previous relationships.
Mhm.
So yeah, I settled. I settled because of lack of knowledge, lack of experience, lack of wisdom.
That makes
But I
perfect.
guarantee you this much, God forbid something happened, I would never settle again, ever. You know.
Gotcha.
But I do got to say something, and this is not in any way, shape, or form trying to be combative or confrontational. But when you have to metamorph into something to please a woman, already you're starting on the back foot. Already, because if they can't accept you for who you are and what you have to offer, and you have to transform into something else, that's already in the negative. So you're fighting an uphill battle, in my honest opinion. You know, I've dated beautiful women. I've dated what people would call aesthetically challenged women. I've dated them all. And I know that I'm pretty damn aesthetically challenged myself,
Mm.
you know, and there has to be something there. There has to be something there to be able to work on and be attracted to, whether it be um, your sense of humor or your sense of self confidence or something. You have to have something to be able to contribute, not just metamorph into something that you think they want,
Mhm.
because that's not going to work. Even before I got married this second time and I met this lovely woman that I'm with now, um, I was blatantly honest.
Mhm.
You know, to a fault sometimes. I was blatantly honest. I just, this is it. This is how it is. You know, if you can deal with this, fine. I'm an old ass fat Puerto Rican Dominican. You need to deal with that with attitude. If you can put up with that, we good. You know, so there's something there. They're talking to me. There's something there that interests them.
Mhm.
More than likely was my sense of humor and my my confidence. But it is what it is. But when you got to transform into something, man, you started off right on the back foot, right on the back foot. That's all I understand. Again, I was not trying to be confrontational or combative in any way.
So let me ask you this question. I'm glad that you made that statement. How do you define where you morph and where you compromise for the sake of love? Because love is agreeing to disagree, right? Because again, I'm just going to put it in a banner at some point. Perspective is your reality, and your reality is your truth. And so, as long as that's your truth, how is somebody going to convince you to see something different? Um, so, with that being said, how do you find that medium, or how do you know when you're bending over or being a pushover or being morphed versus saying, you know what? I agree that we're going to disagree here, and I'm willing to compromise or lean a little here. Just like Just Star was saying, sometimes 70-30, sometimes 40. You know what I mean? So how do you do that?
That's easy. That's actually fairly simple. Conversation, communication is the basis of any good relationship. And there's a difference between morphing and compromise.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge difference. Morphing, you're changing your entire personality. You're changing the entire being that you are to satisfy or snare, however you want to look at it, you know, um, a potential mate.
Mm-hmm.
But when you compromise, that is something that has happened over a discussion over what are you guys willing to do to make each other happy?
Mm-hmm.
Because the end result is you know, happiness between the two of you. You know, and that's it. And it's all about conversation. Communication is key to in my book. Communicate, 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 communicate is it. If you can't talk, you can walk.
I couldn't
Well,
agree with that
it's
more.
also, but it's also how you communicate as well, right? There's bad communication and there's good communication, right? Conflict resolution is a definitely a skill that has to be mastered, right? So yeah, I've heard I heard terrible communication, you cursing, yelling, right? Uh, those type of things go on deaf ear, right? It falls on deaf ears. So yeah, there is communication is key, but there needs to be a level of respect there, no matter what the situation may be. It needs to be a level of respect. It needs to be a level of understanding. I mean, all these things have to be counted in there when we're dealing whatever the issue may be, whatever the conflict may be. Because most of the time when we're talking about communication, that's key. We're really talking about how to deal with conflict. For real, for real. 'Cause we know how to have a good time. We know how to go out to movies and we know how to do that. That's never a problem for any average couple to master, right? Just to go out and do things. But when we get into these conversations, well, yeah, we need to know how to communicate. That's most likely a negative connotation behind the level of communication comes when conflict hits. And this is the cancer that can ruin any great relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. But that's why I said it has to happen in a conversation. Usually, conversations aren't confrontational, not to the magnitude in which you're describing. But you also got to remember there are degrees to these type of conversations. Some people are into that.
Mm-hmm.
I was in several relationships in my life where the more intense the conversation, um, the the more satisfying the aftermath of, of said conversation can be. You know, so some people they enjoy confrontation like that. They want to know. Some people, for them to feel comfortable that you're actually listening to them, they want y'all yelling at each other because they know that means they got your attention and you got their full attention. So that to some people that is communication. For me, it's not so much, but I get it. So it all depends on the relationship, what type of relationship it is, because there are some intense relationships out there that are based solely on physicality. And those conversations can be intense, just as intense as the as intense as the sexual conduct between them. So yeah, it all depends on the type of relationship it is and what kind of conversation and what you got to pick your battles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always a war, but you got to pick your battles because if
No
you
doubt.
don't pick your battles right, you're gonna lose the war. Losing the war in my book is the end of the relationship. But that's my thing.
No,
I hope you guys understood me there.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate your perspective. I appreciate each perspective. They came from a couple of different angles, and I'm always excited to hear how many lanes drive to the same destination. So I'm going to wipe the slate clean there. I'm going to bookmark that. And then, since we have new people who have joined the panel, which have also joined the conversation, we're going to get to the next clip and expand on the next topic. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off camera. Remember, fair use, fair use. We're going to get to the next subject matter. Thank you for everybody who has joined in the chat. I love y'all and I appreciate your support as well as you guys on the panel.
Appreciate you too.
Women ain't women. It's some bitches. It's some hoes. It's some ladies. And you have to know how, just like she can identify these suckers. I'm telling boy, you better not look at all girls and females and think they're a woman. Bitch, prove to me you a woman.
You telling
listen. So listen, they tell boys, don't hit girls back. I've been whispering to my son here, go hit her back. She hit you, you hit her back.
And that's why you got to stay away from males.
That's why you got to stay in a woman's place.
You got to separate.
That's why you don't live with them.
That's why you don't live with them.
Quiet and don't talk back to a man.
Yeah. There you go.
Quiet and don't talk to a man. Because all the women before me that I saw gracefully, those were those kind of women. Her grace and her essence of a woman will shut his motherfucking ass up. When the essence of a real woman come around, niggas pull their pants up, say, man, don't do that in front of her. Then it's naturally will be done it because her presence of a woman, a bitch won't get that response. Oh. Arguing back and forth with a man. I would have watched my mama remove herself out of the presence of a disrespectful boy, playing like he a man. Wouldn't even responded to him. But a bitch got something to say back. A woman removed herself. It's certain things that a lady ain't go do. And when a lady walk into a room, men straighten up. I swear to God. Boys are misbehaved, but men straighten up.
Hey, always remember this.
All women ain't women.
Well, here's the thing. I'll go ahead and start that off and say it's true to an extent because I say that all men are men, but all males aren't men and all, you know what I mean? I believe that men do a certain thing. Boys do a certain thing. If somebody in his instance, in his case scenario, in the explanation that he's given, I wouldn't want to be referred to as a bitch. I would absolutely want to be referred to as a woman. If somebody says all bitches, my first comment back is, oh, okay, well, that might work for all bitches, but I'm not a bitch, I'm a woman, so that doesn't apply. So in that case scenario, I would be a hypocrite if I said, I don't like the way he said that, because I say the same thing about men. When I hear, men do this and men do that and men beat on females, and I always say, well, then that wasn't a man, because men don't beat women. Men don't curse women out. Men don't disrespect ladies. Men don't cheat. Men don't close down and don't communicate or are afraid to be vulnerable. So in that regard, I do have to salute some of that context. I guess I'll throw it to you, Just Star, first, since you're the other female in the room.
I don't even know what the question was because I'm a little bit distracted by the comments because I can keep it real.
It was about in the video. Do you think well, according to the video, it was like he was basically saying that women are women and bitches are bitches. Bitches don't deserve the same respect that women do.
Oh yeah, completely.
Women,
yeah.
And absolutely. That women were back in the day, women were able to coerce or able to command a room just with their presence or their essence. But in this day and age, the women who pop off and argue, or the females who pop off and argue back with men, basically to be on his same level, are no longer women, they're bitches.
Well, to be on his same level makes them bitches.
To be argumentative instead of using the essence.
But that's so everything up until that last sentence I'm confused of, because women are amazing, and the whole Malysa thing. Malysa was just a beautiful woman with dreadlocks that the men were shocked at her beauty, so they were frozen in amazement. That's why they say about her turning people to stone, was because she was so beautiful. And it's people forget that we're actually amazing and we're actually designed, and that's the whole God made us like sexually desired to each other to populate the world. So it's like a natural desire. But also then as well, like, as Malysa just said in a minute ago, and like me, I've said this to Malysa before, like when people start talking about bitches, I'm not in the conversation because I'm a fucking woman out here. So, if you're talking about bitches, then I might be able to agree with you. But when you talk about women, it's a whole nother conversation.
Perfect. Then yeah, that's you answering the question. Perfect. So then let me ask Ruthless next. How do you agree, disagree with the clip?
Yes and no, yes and no. You know what I mean? A woman's a woman no matter what. If she's vulgar or she's being argumentative, she's still a woman. She just may not be acting in the best or more, I would say, most suitable or the most demeanor that we want to expect from her, but she's still a woman, right? We just gonna have to work it out on how we can better communicate. But if I'm saying something, she's arguing back at me, and she's acting masculine, or and getting real vulgar, I still think she's a woman. Now, but at the same time, it's kind of women work to themselves as bitches, right? Bad bitch, whatever, you know what I mean? Or I'm that bitch, right? I see it all the time. I see them. So women call themselves something. It's almost like the N word, right? Mm-hmm. Bitch and the N word are two of the same fucking words, right? That we pick and choose what we want, right? Because I've heard dudes do it. What's up, my nigga? Then when you say, what's up, nigga? I'm not a nigga, right? So it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm confused now, right? So yeah. But me to keep the throttle down, like me when I'm talking to a woman who's being belligerent, if I don't know her, you know what I mean, and she's calling me names and she's doing this stuff, first thing I'm gonna try to walk away, right? Depending, I don't know, it depends. I try to walk away. I try not to match her energy because it can be critical. But if it's someone I care about, now that changes it. You know what I mean? That changes it because now I can't walk away. So now she calling me name, it hurt a little more, right? It hurts just. So I might, the B word might come behind that, but out of the emotional reaction, of you being that, yeah, I've done that in the past. So, and I don't think that's right? That's not justifying it. It's just something I've been trying to master, and so now if those things start transpiring, just walk away. Even if I care about you and I see we go in there, I'm out this bitch. So yeah, I don't agree with Charleston Wright in the fact that if she's doing that, she is a bitch. She's just being a woman who's being a woman, right? Women, there's two sides of that body, right? And a man, same thing. He's always a man, even no matter what he does. But women do say boys, right? But that's just I guess that's just to try to stop stuff. But men are men, right? Women are women, and we have imperfections. We're not perfect, and we get our emotions and say things come out of our mouth, or we do things that are not agreeable or looked down upon. We're just being human, right? I'm still a man. I still have bills. I'm still a dad. I'm still this and that. Just right now, I'm not acting the best. I'm not being the best person that I can be.
No doubt about it. Okay, pause there. And yeah, Just Star, you can go. Shout out to you, the Beat Master. Hip hop. Go ahead, Just Star, and then or go ahead, Just Star. Keep in mind that Jed hasn't spoken yet.
All right, I'll wait.
Even if you want to spin the block, do you want to wait?
No,
Just Star, wait, hold on. Just Star, hold on. Before you say anything, Scorch, chill, bro. Chill. I don't want to take a wrench away. I don't want to disrespect you. I love you. I respect you, bro. But don't ask Just Star nothing more about her marriage. No more comments about it. She told you she don't want to talk about it. Park it right there. And that's it. And that's all. Go ahead and continue with the show, y'all.
Thank you.
No doubt about it. So Just Star, do you want to wait until after Jed, or do you?
Yeah, of course. No
now?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
so then go ahead, Jed, because you haven't spoken yet, and then we'll spin the block to Just Star.
Well, a couple of things that I don't agree with what he said. First of all, my dad was abusive. I literally saw my mom get her ass beat and put in the hospital. They had a bed waiting for her almost every weekend. I made the conscious decision to never go down that road, you know. So I cannot even fathom a reason to hit a woman. I don't care what they do, unless they're about to stab me, and then I'll hold on to them till somebody can come get the knife out of their hands, or I take the knife out of their hand. And trust me, that's happened. But no, there's no justification in my book. That's just my book to hit a woman. I know some women think, they like them equal rights, and and they want the equal lefts too. I get it, but they ain't gonna catch it from me. That's just that's my stance on it. Now, and I raised my boys that way. I have 3 boys and 2 girls. The one that was in the hospital, she's laying right there right now. So she's doing well, and I've been dying for her to talk to you. She already talked to Miss Chocolate. I'm waiting for her to talk to you. But what people have a tendency to forget is there's a learning curve. Mm-hmm. There is a huge learning curve growing up. All right. Bitches, quote unquote, can become the best and loveliest and most deserving of ladies and women, but it takes time to learn. So of course they're going to be confrontational because they want to know what's going on. When you don't have experience at a job, you're going to make some mistakes. Is this not true? So when you don't have it, same with guys. Not all men are men. Some of them are boys until very late in life. Dogs, actually, until very late in life. Like, I believe a fuckboy will stay a fuckboy as long as they get away with it. Once they realize, you know what, that shit's not going to work no more, I better change my game, change my attitude, and I might run into that right one. But it's a learning curve. All right, life, you're learning. I'll be 60 in August. I'm still freaking learning. You think I know my wife? No, I don't know her. But I love her enough to want to know as much as possible. And I'm always wanting to make her happy. And she's the same way with me. So it's just a learning curve. And some curves are more bumpy than others. But I don't normally call women bitches. I don't call young ladies bitches. I'll say they're difficult. And there are plenty of difficult ones out there. But even my exes, I don't call bitches. But it's a learning curve, and that's all it is. And if they're confrontational, it's because they don't know something. If you're confrontational automatically, it's because you don't know something and you want to find out. And this is your way of communicating. It might not be the right way, but it is your way of communicating. So maybe I'm a little too forgiving. Maybe I'm a little too passive for some people, but that's my look on things. So it is what it is.
I can respect that. Go ahead, Just Star, so you can land, and then we're getting to a next clip.
Oh, I can't remember what I was going to say before. I think it was something that both of these guys, though, have spoken things that I definitely respect and agree with. And I think that was what I was trying to say, because I felt like it was something saying about before that imagine like women and men actually like have the same sort of feelings. It's like, sometimes it's like we get divided so much that it's like, well, women think this way, men think this way. No, actually, I promise you, like, I was strictly dickly for so many years, and I married a woman yet, and like, I promise you, men and women do think the same way, like, regardless of the situation. And it's like, then also, something that you were just saying in as well, that the last guy that was speaking, sorry, like, I love the way that you clearly like love your partner, and like, I'm all about that. But as well, it's crazy how like we just forget to just be human beings. Just like, it doesn't matter if you're a woman, it doesn't matter if you're a man, it doesn't matter if you got a job, if you haven't got a job, if you got a degree, you ain't got a degree. Why don't you just love people? Why don't you just respect people? Why don't you just be there?
No doubt about it. Do you think that people, well, I think this is an obvious answer, but it's obvious to me. I just want to hear somebody else's perspective. Do you think that people bleed tainted love onto other people? Or do you think that all love given is genuine?
Well, no, because some people don't even know what love really is. Like, how many times, like, yo, I thought, like, some of such things, because I can't keep up, because I can't remember. It's late for me as well. You have to remember, it's 2:32 right now in the morning, yeah? And, like, regardless, like, you know, I sometimes thought that, love that was shown to me was the deepest fucking love that would never be, like, mirrored again. And, like, then in hindsight, I'm like, yo, that was control. That was this, that was that, whatever, like, so it's really hard sometimes, like when you're in the moment, to see the reality of the love, and it's like, as I don't. There's no answer that really is there, because unless you're in a situation and, like, you're 50-50 or 70-30 on every day that you need to be each other's, like, other bit, like, then you're never really gonna know that love, because we have so many divisions and, like, divide and conquer that rules the world, that we seem to be just always fighting to be equal, and it's like, can't we just see that we really are equal already? I'm gonna leave it there.
So
I appreciate that. Go ahead.
um, I think we have to understand the human biology, right? That even though we in utopia we think that once you get to a certain point in your life that you're supposed to master everything, that's just a more of a fallacy, right? Truth is we're imperfect, and we will until we die, we will all be imperfect in some kind of way, and
Sure, real talk.
and sometimes emotions get in the way. Sometimes anger, right? All these things that are in us, we could take something the wrong way. It's just very difficult.
Imagine human beings being human out here. It's like amazing. Like, oh my gosh. Like, some days I'm imperfect too. Like, because we're perfectly imperfect. That's how we live. That's when, if you ever think you've learned it all, you're the biggest, dumbest person out here. And that's why I love what you were saying before, and that's why I was actually, sorry to interrupt, but, like, just because you were saying so much stuff before that I completely agreed with, because it's like, we will never know it all, like, and that's the best thing you should know.
And what we think love is conditional. Okay, let's just keep it real, right? It's a reciprocation of give and take. That's what it comes down to, right? We compromise, make sacrifices, we pick up, right? But when you really look at the way the wedding vows were written, right, you could tell that you got to be able to deal with someone's negative side, right? It's just don't mean good times, bad time, right? Or not necessarily someone, but both of you guys, right? Both of you guys are gonna spend time together. There's going to be things that you might not like, or something you're gonna, move around. So I don't like when people call men boys. I just don't like that, and I don't like when people call women little girls, right? You act like a little girl. Once you turn 18, buddy, really, well, in the law, 15, right? But this universal, we're at 18, right? It's just some more, suitable age where everybody agrees that if whatever your actions are, you will be held accountable and on your own ground where you stand, right? And that at that point, you become a man or a woman. That's when the law will definitely deal with you and you only, right? You go to DMV, get your license, all this stuff, right? And the bills, all these responsibilities. You are now become a man and a woman, right? So this is what dictates a man and a woman when you're able to fend for yourself. So, if we want to, because somebody acts imperfect or has something maybe that's I not like about them and didn't know you want to refer back to a boy, you want to metamorphose it back to a boy. I just think that's just a way to try to shame somebody. And I don't think it solves for anything. But the thing is to address them as a man or as a woman, as a adult, and try to figure it out. That's it. That's all you can do.
Understood. I appreciate that. Appreciate everybody's perspective. Let's get into the next topic, next discussion. You guys are on point here. Yes, go ahead, please.
I gotta vacuum seal some meat into portions real quick. And I
Yo,
need
you
to
are one of the most American motherfuckers I ever heard. I love that.
We
That's
see all those
amazing.
little
That's
electro
the
jets
UK.
in the back.
Sorry, that just that was so amazing. Sorry.
Well, let me go get this taken care of.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
hear them
stay here. I'm
sentences
gonna
often.
listen.
I've
But
got to go vacuum pack some meat. Like, yo, shut up.
No doubt about it. We're here when you're ready, and you're ready when we're here. Look.
all
So,
right.
you know, it's the crossing of the pond and shit. Like, I love it. I'm all about it. But it just made me laugh so much. I had to
No
interrupt.
doubt about it. I always love when the men get up here and they're in the middle of doing men stuff, family stuff, husband stuff, relationship. Just, I love it. So, fair use, fair use. Let's get into this next clip, next topic. I'm going to go off camera so we can watch this thing, see what grind.
Friends is like 4 quarters. They change for $1. Let me say that again.
Oh, wow.
Fake friends is like 4 quarters. They change for $1, man. That'll be on the gram tomorrow. Fake friends is like 4 quarters. They change for $1. Let me say that again.
Oh, wow.
Fake friends is like 4 quarters. They change for $1, man. That'll be on the gram tomorrow.
That sounds like the opening lines for a poem. I wish I was near my pen. I can't even plagiarize that man. Fake friends are like 4 quarters. They'll change for $1. Holla. Mm. I don't even know what to say about that. All right, let me start here. So, yeah, they will absolutely change for $1. I feel like in this journey of being social mediaized, whatever you want to call it, being on different platforms, being privileged, blessed enough to go places, so on and so forth. I thought I had people who were friends. I thought I had supporters. I thought I had riders. And an analogy came to me, and I think I might have shared it with Just Star. I might have shared it with Mr. Soap. I'm not even sure, but I felt like I got invited to a humongous state dinner, the Met Gala, right? So, because that just happened. Shout out to y'all look, baby, even my man's Andre, 3 stacks with the piano on his back. Salute, I seen your baby mama reposted you. Anyway, stay out their business. I want to be there when I grow up. So anyway, I felt like I got invited to a big dinner at the Met Gala, right? And it was, you get dressed, we all about to get dressed to the nine. We about to be it. We got invited to this state dinner. We taking you with us because you just as dope. Come on, let's go. I went, I spent all my money. You feel what I'm saying? I picked up an extra shift at the pizza shop. I didn't spend all my money putting outfit, hair, everything together so I can look like, I don't want y'all to look like I'm, you know what I'm saying? Y'all floating without me. We all out here. We get ready to get this. And y'all walk in the door and sit down at the table. And it's 6 of us and the table seats only 5. Right? We all walk into this dining room. I'm on your level. I think I'm eating with y'all. Y'all all sit down and then turn around and look at me and offer me a seat on the floor at the end of the table. So I have definitely been changed for $1 when I thought I was 1 quarters. Like, Just Star,
Yeah, bro, I was waiting to speak because yeah, we did speak about this, and like at the end of the day, we don't need to sit at people's tables. I promise you, because I walk past your table just to sit with the big kids. So like, and and that's like you, Bridget, because I see you, I love you, and I respect you, and I rate you, and I've only ever got love for you. You know that. But yeah, it's about time people start seeing our worth while we value ourselves, because at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Are you more excited to be a quarter or a dollar?
Yo, I don't even need to see a penny on my name because I'm not up for sale. I'm so worthy. I'm priceless.
Period. But would you rather be part of gang or single dollar bill?
Say that again, sorry.
Would
Because
you
I
rather
just
be
changed
part
the
of change or a single dollar bill?
I don't know the difference. What does that mean? You're talking American to
So
me. You
basically,
really.
would you rather be like part of gang? Would you rather be part of four quarters? Would you rather be 25 pennies that make up the thing? Or do you just want to be solo? Like, do you want to
Oh.
would you
Oh no,
prefer?
no, because I just want to be $1,000,000 and let everyone sit on
You
the same
better
shit
say you
because we're
prefer
out here
gang.
fucking representing. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to make money for everyone because anytime I make money, I always represent. Like, even the amount of things I do here for amount of projects that I do here that I could be paid a lot of money for that I don't for people for love. So I'm worthy. I've just
Love.
started to value myself more. So it's a hard question to answer. But I receive it, I value it, and like just recently, I'm starting to value myself, and that's why everyone started to take worth of myself, like taking notes, literally.
I love it. I think for me, I'm kind of it depends on the scenario. There are some I want to be change so bad. Like I don't want to be the lone quarter. I want to be one of four
Save
quarters
your
that
change.
equals
We're
a
making
dollar.
real
You
change.
know.
Like,
However, I understand that the goal is to be the $100 bill. You feel what I'm saying? And in order for me to bring my other $100 or my
nah.
other 1,000
Let me
pennies.
ask you this then, Melissa. Let me ask you this. Sorry, like to interrupt you, but like because like, do you think that $100 bill is worth as much as a minute of your time to somebody that really needs it?
No, 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 no. I'm coming from a totally different perspective. What I'm saying is, for instance, this panel, right? Every time it's time for me to come up on this panel, I always reach out to you, right? Why? Because I like being 50 Cent. You feel me? I don't
Right,
necessarily want to be the
yeah.
dollar. I don't mind being the dollar. I could be the $100 bill. You feel?
I
However,
do. I believe you. I know
I
you.
like being 50 Cent. I
But
like
that's
those
different.
four quarters. I like
Sharing the
the
plate.
quarter that's Jed and the quarter that's Ruthless and the quarter that's Just Star and the quarter that's Malysa that makes us all the single dollar bill. Now I don't mind being the what you call it? The silver dollar either. Or the
I don't know what
Sacagawea,
that means.
whatever. I don't mind. But I like being part of four quarters.
Oh, no, okay. That makes sense because I didn't know what I go on when you say what I go on, but like obviously it's what rotted. You know me. I'm all about like let's. My motto from day dot has been let's complete each other rather than compete with each other because I'm all about that, and you know me. Like so, what I go on.
Okay,
But
what
yeah,
about
that makes more sense. Sorry.
Ruthless?
So now you said team player, right? You're talking about you rather be a team player.
According to the clip, and then we just kind of expand it out. So catch it wherever you want to and blow out from there.
So you want to just stress the clip first? So the clip first is
first, darling.
The associates are associates. I do believe the one thing I learned in this life that friendship is for a moment. It's not meant to be forever. I do believe that people overvalue and overinvest in friendship. And I think that's where they make the mistake. When you overvalue or overinvest in something like that, you risk it's risk of loss, right? Loss of switch changing. Because a person might like you 5 years and the next 5 years hate you or don't like you. People change. Right? People see you one way to see you another way. It's just the way of the world, right? And I learned this that okay. And this is also in relationships, the same thing, right? The woman you meet 2 years ago could be different 4 years later, right? Doesn't mean she might not have the feelings for you anymore. That could change. So yeah, that's everybody you deal with is always going to be like 4 quarters, right? You know what I mean? They always. Now, as far as now, we want to get into team playing, but you talked about the other part, right? Dealing with, you said you'd rather be 50 cents, you know what I mean, rather than a whole dollar, meaning you don't mind having help or working as a team in the team aspect. And for a lot of women, I think they're losing that mindset, right? As far as dealing with relationships, particularly marriage, right? Everybody seems like they start out like they want to be a quarter or 50 cent, and then as time goes on, they want to be the whole dollar, right? They want to be the whole dollar. Now, if you can't match me being my dollar, make what makes me a dollar, I'm out, and I'm going to dollar this thing all the way to the with or without you. So I do believe that mindset that you display about your mind being 50 cent. I believe and I'm speaking to the women, and more so in this because I'm looking at relationships and friendships, well, more relationship styles, and because it's such a disparity. If women had that mindset on a grand scale, going into and finish off their commitment, right? I think it would be a lot more success rate would be a lot higher, right? Because at the end of the day, it takes a team, it takes a unified effort for anybody to deal with a family and or deal with anything that's sometimes conflict, right? You need more. Two hands are better than one. So yeah, it is definitely more palatable, and I agree with you. If I don't mind being 50 cent either. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind being 50 cent. I don't have to come in and put the whole world on my shoulders and let's do this together, right? We can do it and do it together and whether we're associates or whether we in a relationship, right? Whatever we're doing together as whether making money or making content or whatever, let's do it together. Together.
I have a question for you, Ruthless, if you don't mind me asking. How old are you, sir?
48.
48. Okay, so you have about 2 years on me. Single or married?
Relationship.
In a relationship. So it's happy, complicated. I don't ask and keep watching. I don't want no problems.
Happily in relationships.
Okay, happily in a relationship.
Relationships.
And
plural.
ships.
Plural.
I heard it. Was that plural? Did I hear plural?
Yeah, plural.
Backstory.
I'm into. I like having multiple girlfriends.
Period. I wish I would have known that probably about 30 minutes ago. I probably would have understood
conversation.
half you said. How long have we been here? An hour, 3 minutes? An hour ago. I would have understood everything you said after that. Now, from here on out, every answer that you give is going to make sense to me. Not because it makes sense to me, but because it makes sense to me. Catch that whenever you got time. All right. Are we ready for the next clip? Because I don't think, is Jay back? I don't think he's here to give his 50 cent piece, is he? 25 cent piece.
He's tending to.
I think he's still on. Are we ready for our next clip?
Can I press in the work because there's a spanner by my name here, and it's like because there's so many conversations about man to woman, and I grew up on man to woman, yeah, but I'm just so interested in so what would you think it is, woman to woman or man to man, or is that just so obscure?
What you mean?
Because the conversation is so men are so adamant in the way that they know what women think, what they want, and the reason why these situations happen because they apparently because I mean I've been in so many conversations and I will literally repeat what I'm saying, but apparently it doesn't make sense because men already know what we're thinking and why things happen.
Their perspective is their truth.
Yeah,
and it's their reality.
yeah.
And who are we to come in there and try to clean up that bubble? Lest they ask us to come in there with a mop and a broom, darling.
Imagine a woman telling you what a woman may think, because we're not even saying this is what women think. This is saying what women may think. This is a possibility in a situation, because well, everything is different scenarios, and like that's what I wanted to bring up and be the devil's advocate, because amazingly sometimes like it's not man to woman, woman to man. It's like I've heard so many things that like in relationships, like if you've actually been in relationships with different people, like it's amazing the same sort of things that come up between man and woman and man, and woman and red stare. But like apparently men know it all. So I just need to learn more from men, I think.
Oh, such is life, and so art thou here. Are we here? All right, so let's get to this next clip. I seen the fair use come up in the corner, so let's clean the slate. When this comes off, then I will go ahead and get it started, and then Jed, you can follow up. So let's go ahead and get to that clip.
Once told me, only those who truly care about you can hear you when you're quiet.
When did I become so numb?
Someone once told me, only those who truly care about you can hear you when you're quiet.
I'm sorry, this is going to be a first for me. I vetoed this clip. Can we go to the next one? I do not want to talk about nothing sad. That ain't. I'm sorry. I killed that clip. Let's get to the next one. Fair use. I'm sorry, but yeah, I got to keep it a buck. I don't want that. I love you.
One of my senseis showed me. He said, "Listen, this is what we about to do." He said, "You didn't pass every test I gave you. Now I'm about to. This gonna be the worst test ever." He blindfolded me and laid me on the floor. He said, "Now, just lay on your back and wait for me to come attack you." He said, "It's a lot of us here. You just wait." And I waited and waited, and I was so tense. And I waited and waited. Then I finally said, "Man, fuck it, I surrender." And that was the lesson he was teaching me, surrender. One thing that one of my senseis showed me, he said, "Listen, this is what we about to do." He said, you didn't pass every test I gave you. Now I'm about to, this gonna be the worst test ever." He blindfolded me and laid me on the floor. He said, "Now, just lay on your back and wait for me to come attack you." He said, "It's a lot of us here. You just wait." And I waited and waited. And I was so tense, and I waited and waited. Then I finally said, "Man, fuck it, I surrender." And that was the lesson he was teaching me, surrender.
That nigga crazy motherfucker.
I was going to say, so is the question, is Kevin Gates weird or not? Or yeah, I can't.
Surrender. Surrender.
I can't.
Surrender.
You said you get ready to leave. I'm sorry.
No, I was joking. I was joking with him.
Oh yeah, I can't. So just no, I can't. I cannot. Shout out to him and whatever he got going on. I love Kevin Gates. Love him down as an artist. I even love him down as far as the transparency of his journey and the wisdom nuggets that he gives. I'm not, all jokes aside, I think it takes a high clearance level of balls, for lack of a better term, to be as gang as he is. Yet he carries on with or without. One supporter, all supporters, no supporters. So for that, I salute and I respect it. Do I think he goes off grid sometimes? Yeah. Maybe he just smoked better weed than the next man. I'm not sure, but Yeah, ruthless. Jed, go ahead, because I did say you could go first. Salute to 100 watts. Salute to Soul. What's going on? But anyway, yeah, Jed.
Sorry. Now I'm in the middle of chicken. Okay.
The gospel bird.
got the beef done, doing the chicken, then the fish next. But I missed the last video. The point of the last video. Can you sum up for me real quick?
I wish I could.
Well,
I
what he
don't
said
even
was, I summed up. What he said was,
Thank
he was-
you.
Yeah, they blindfolded him. I guess he's in some sort of self defense art class or something, whatever.
Last dragon type. The
And his
final.
master was like, we've taught you everything we need to know, but this is the last part, is the hardest part. So they blindfolded him, laid him down, and told him, we want you to wait here until we come attack you. There's a lot of us here. And he said he waited, and he waited, and he was intense, and then he surrendered. So I guess the moral of his story was that he learned that he had to just let shit go and understand that what he can't control, let it go.
Or the lesson was if you surrender in the wait, you'll save yourself from attack.
No, because he thought the attack was coming, but the tense part was he was trying to control it, right? Being ready. Okay, he's probably thinking in his head, I'm gonna do this. If he hit me like you know what I mean? He probably had all these plans. And then when nobody came, right? He was just waiting, and he just surrendered, meaning, damn, I can't control. I don't know what to do now. Right. So I surrendered.
Perfect. So I'm glad you said that, because that's what I'm talking about. I'm not telling you that you're wrong, but your perspective is your reality and your truth. So I can't argue with that. From my perspective, my reality and my truth, the surrender in the wait was what saved him from the attack, the anticipation, all of that. When he let go, let God, whatever, then the attack was dismantled. So that's my perspective. Jed, what's your perspective?
All right, well, if you talk to 20-year-old Jed, he would have been tense the whole time. I would have been there for hours just waiting for someone to even try. That's 20-year-old me. We got 60-year-old broken down, dusty, got some life under his wings right now.
Knees wide.
Yeah, you got to deal with it as it comes. If you stay, I've only learned this, over the past 20 years. If you stay in that ready position, you're going to stress yourself out to the point you do more damage to yourself than what could possibly be done by them. So you got to surrender to, basically you're surrendering to life. Take it as it comes. You got to take it as it comes. And you can roll with the punches. Easy to do. It's easy. Metaphorically, physically, mentally, you can roll with the punches, but you just got to surrender and wait till it comes, and not because if you anticipate, you do more damage to yourself. That's my take on it.
Shout out to you, Gifted Soul, and hey, Mr. Vaughn, you see what I'm saying out there in the chat? I see you. You see what I'm saying? Gifted, how you doing, love?
I'm good. How about everybody else? Peace to everybody.
Good. You getting in where you fit in, or you jumping in where we at?
I was watching for about the past 20 minutes. I've been in here.
I seen you a while ago. So if you want to put in on that, Just Star hasn't commented yet, so we'll let the lady go first. You can go right after.
That's cool. Cool.
Just Star.
Yo, sorry, what one?
It's your turn.
Yo, big up Gifted Soul on the screen now, yo. Love gang. I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to multitask and it's very late and I can't multitask at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No. Don't worry about it. Then I'll throw it to Gifted Soul and you can get in where you can.
Excuse me, young lady. You just tell me what I missed. Tell me, because I know what I have to say if I. No, I'm joking. You're not playing with you. You want to tell my banter, British banter. No, but honestly, Wagwan, tell me. I love you, man.
All right, Gifted Soul, you explain.
I I honestly think that when he was talking to his sensei, what his sensei told him was a metaphor. Like, I don't think it was going to be an attack at all. I think the message of it was to surrender to yourself. He listened to somebody else saying that, yeah, we're going to attack you and this, that, to the third. But it wasn't until he decided to be like, you know what, fuck it, and got up and saw that it wasn't no attack. He probably didn't see nobody around him. The sensei probably left him in a room
Oh.
by himself. You feel what I'm saying? And the whole point of the message was like surrender to your own will, not nobody else's. Because even through the process of him having a sensei, you still listening to somebody else. You feel what I'm saying? You trusting somebody else with, with whatever they teaching you. You giving somebody else your whole entire
Yeah, it's
will.
supposed to be namaste, and it's supposed to be vibes and peace and thing. And even when you're
Right.
fighting, you're supposed to not hold that bad
So
energy to nobody. You're not
that's
supposed
why
to.
I think he said that that's why I think he said that's why I think his sensei said that that was going to be his toughest battle is surrendering because it's hard for people to people it's easier for people to do what the majority is doing, but people don't want to do what they true self tell them to do. Like people won't be who they really
Because
need to
I
be.
do shit.
You feel what I'm saying? Because they don't want to be the odd person out. They don't
Do you
surrender
think
to
it's
their own
because
will.
I like that, but do you also, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut in. I just got excited to
You
ask this
good.
question. Thank you, darling. Please don't take offense, and I know you don't. Do you
Mm-mm.
think it's because people are afraid to be wrong, so they're just following
Mm.
because it's like, oh, I'm gonna do what everybody else want to do just so that I don't look like
Mm-hmm.
I'm wrong.
No, you know what?
Yes.
I'm gonna answer your question with one of the things you said to somebody earlier. It's not the fact that people are afraid to be wrong because if what you said earlier is true, then there is no wrong. You said that somebody else's perspective on something is their truth.
Mhm.
So therefore, there is no wrong. People don't want to
People
be the
don't realize
odd
that. Yeah.
person out. People don't want to be the differenter. It's harder to be the differenter because when you different, you got all the eyes on you. You got all the ridicule. You got all the different people feeling how they feel towards you, but it's easier to fit in with everybody else and do what everybody else is doing because ain't nobody gonna pay you no mind. When
Okay,
you
perfect. Same window.
Exactly what
Let's
you're saying.
change the view just a little bit. So, same window, right? I think that people also are scared. I think that people are scared of accountability.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So
I
if I
agree.
jump over here and if everybody jump off the bridge and I jump off the bridge and everybody break their leg, then I could be like, oh, well, they all broke their leg, so you shouldn't look at me awkward. Thank you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
on the opposite side of that, if everybody go break their leg and you standing over here, then it's like now you don't want to be like, oh, well, the reason why I didn't go break my leg is because you don't want to have to give accountability for why you decided to stand out.
And
Some
look,
people
not to cut you off, but same scenario with jumping off the bridge. We all walking up to the bridge together, and the whole time everybody is with jumping off the bridge, but in the
Oh,
back of
we
your
walking
mind,
at
you
the
know
bridge
you don't want to
together.
jump off the bridge. But
I'm
you
not.
already know when you say, man, I don't think we need to be jumping off this bridge. Everybody, bro, you say you lame, you weak, whoop, 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 and you don't want to feel that. You don't want to be the odd person out. So you jump off knowing that it's you don't want to go through you feel,
Mhm.
and that's what a lot of people, like you said, accountability, the accountability in that, be accountable for the fact that you don't want to do something. Say no.
Mhm.
Say
Mm-hmm.
no.
I
Learn how to
do.
say
I do.
no.
That's why no one likes me because I say the opposite of what anyone wants to hear. I'm not
Right,
jumping off the
right.
bridge because I'm not stupid. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying people are stupid for following the crowd because that's what we're. It's like bystander syndrome. It's a real thing. You like in the daytime you can go and commit the worst crimes and bystander syndrome will let it happen. And like there'll be 100 people watching you do it, and like there'll be no witnesses.
Isn't this a part? But isn't that what we, and when I say we, I mean the United States, the planet, the earth, whatever the case, the majority. I can dig it. I'm getting ready to
Well,
come
you
over
know, I'm not United States.
here
You
to
know, I know
full.
what I'm going. So it's
No,
like,
no, no. But listen to what I'm saying. Well, let me get to the end because it'll make more sense. The
mm-hmm.
universe, however, do you think that's why we are being trained to be a part of a system? Do you think that system is a part of that agenda Do you think system is the same thing as culture? Do you think culture is the same thing as race? And do you think that we're all a part of a big bubble to make us all systematically robots? Or do you think that there is um, positive reinforcement of us being individuals?
Well, I mean, do you want me to answer first or should I wait?
Yes.
Because I personally think divide and conquer has been the biggest single most dominant ruling of the world since day dot that they've used to the background music again is very loud and annoying, but they've used divide and conquer to separate us from day dot, and it works the most efficiently. Between races, between skin colors, between countries, between races, religions, every single thing that they can divide us against is the best way to make us. They don't even need to make us fight because they just tell us that we don't like each other, then we fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have this conversation. We realize, we're actually quite similar because we all feel the same ways. We all have the same problems. We all live in, we all bleed red blood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Jed, you still playing with the gospel bird?
I got you.
All
I can
right,
pick
go ahead,
up.
Gifted.
To be honest with you, to answer your question, I think anything that you have to program is a system. It has a system to it. It has an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that the fact that we are quote unquote different races, it it it's a beautiful thing because it helps us see the perspective from one perspective from many different eyes. But me, I'm a very spiritual or universal person, so it's like um at some point I do believe that we all do exist in one consciousness. Like at some point color does not exist. You feel what I'm saying? Race does not exist. Like none of that exists at some point. Because when you, let's just say heaven, for example, when you go to heaven, they're not going to ask you what's your skin color. Your soul doesn't have a skin color. And even before you ask that, my spirit led me to Jed. You feel what I'm saying? Like I remember before I even got acquainted with y'all, I got on a podcast I was watching, and he was on here one time. And if I'm not mistaken, like I'm not racist at all, but he's white if I'm not mistaken. But he's a what are you? So what are you? So what are you? So what are you? I'm interested.
Puerto Rican, right?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Okay, okay,
There's not a
okay.
drop of white blood in me. But look,
But even still, let me just continue on with what I thought. I'm thinking that he's a white guy. You feel what I'm saying? But his energy, his soul that exists within him is about love. It's about peace. And in my head, like I said, he's white. I'm black. We're not the same race, but we have the same mindset. You see what I'm saying? So it's like at some point, yeah, like we all do exist as one consciousness. Like I really do agree with that because otherwise we wouldn't have so many different cultures that agree with so many different things. Like we're definitely not the only race of people that agree with love and peace and joy. We're not the only people. You feel what I'm saying? But when it comes to us being, on this earth in this physical form, it's divided, it's categorized, it's programmed to be that way. It's programmed for us to hate on one another, or I don't even believe in racism. Like the racism was a program, it was a part of the systematic thing to keep us divided. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel. That's personally how I feel. Like racism exists, yeah, but that's only because people give it the power or energy to exist. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel about it. Like nothing doesn't thrive if you don't give it life, you know? And if it wasn't nobody just like, oh, just feeling superior than another, if everybody understood that we are all the same, we all bleed red blood, we would be okay. You feel what I'm saying? But you got so many people who are indoctrinated with different races of species of aliens and things like that, and that's where it gets confused because like me being spiritual, I don't know if y'all ever heard of the Anunnaki and all this other shit, but they start stripping apart so much shit when it comes to us as a people, and they start trying to make it seem like some races are better than others and all this other shit. And at the end of the day, it don't matter who you is. You can be a bad person just based off of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Like a killer, a evil person, they don't have no skin, they don't have no face. They could be anybody. So it's just like, I do believe that certain things were put in place for us to not um coexist and be together as a people because we can learn from each other. We definitely can.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Jen, go ahead.
Um, Gifted, don't in no way, shape, or form was I did I feel any sort of way. I'm used to that. Really used to it. I got to give you guys a little backstory so you can understand. I've been on the street since I was 11 or 12 years old. Me and my mom just didn't get along. I love my mother. She gave birth to me, but it wasn't working. I was raised by the gangs in New York, but this was weird because I was raised by predominantly black people. Here I am, I'm a Puerto Rican Dominican, and I was predominantly raised by black people. So that this is where I'm comfortable. This is my but I had so much hate in my heart because I was never accepted by the Puerto Rican, by the
Right.
Dominicans, or by the blacks. Where did I focus all my hate at? Was at the whites. I blamed the whites for everything that went wrong in my life. I did that until I was almost 40 years old. Once I let go of the hate and the bigotry and the racism that was embedded into my heart, my life has been enjoyable. I've been able to smile more. I've been able to laugh more. And it has racism to me is nothing but pure unadulterated hate. Hate for hate's sake. Hate because you don't understand what's going on. Hate because you feel the world is against you. Hate because you were raised the wrong way or your parents weren't the greatest. Racism to me is just hate because I went down that road. And when I let it go, it took a huge chunk of weight off of me. Not the weight that I wanted to lose, but a huge chunk of weight anyway.
Do you do you think that hate is lack of knowledge
Absolutely.
or
Yeah,
lack of
definitely.
hold on, lack of knowledge or a lack of self-respect?
No,
Lack of knowledge.
it's lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Self-respect.
So,
And I'll
and this
explain
is
why.
why I'm asking because do you think that it's possible to hate you because I don't know you? And do you think you can equally hate somebody because you hate yourself?
Can I, yeah, can I say something?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
hell
Go ahead.
yeah. Let me give a prime example. You can go to a school right now. You can go to, let's just say, pre-K, and you can see little white kids and little black kids playing with each other. They don't know racism. It's not up until that white child starts getting older and able to comprehend and understand, and their parents are feeding them that hatred, that they grow up and now they don't know the difference. You feel what I'm saying? That's a lack of knowledge. That's a lack of knowledge. That's self-respect is something different. Self-respect is having the decency to go outside and put on clothes and present yourself in the right way. That's
Mhm.
self-respect. But lack of knowledge, lack of knowledge is like lack of faith. You feel what I'm saying? Like that, like even when I was younger, I remember being in pre-K. I thought I was a white kid when I was in pre-K. Like my aunt told me, they said I wasn't black. I said I wasn't black, I was white. That's because I didn't know the difference. I didn't know the difference. All I knew was my really all I knew was my skin wasn't as dark as everybody else's. So I just, you feel what I'm saying? So I think it's lack of knowledge, man, because like come on, man, like it's you don't know certain things until people teach them to you. And some of the things that people
Mhm.
know, like some of the things that people know ain't right if you don't go do your own research on it.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
like it like even for real, like some of these white people and some of these black people, they don't know that even let's just say slavery. We didn't get through slavery by ourselves. It was some real loving white people that let us hide in them barns, hide in they cellars, etc., etc. Like we didn't do it on our own. You feel what I'm saying? Like we innovated, we made it through, but it time doesn't
It
change
took a
those
rainbow
souls.
along
That
the way.
souls don't,
Mhm.
like souls live on forever. So them same souls that helped us back then, they still exist on this realm now, if that
No
makes
doubt.
sense. I don't know if I'm making sense,
No,
but
no, no. You make
yeah,
sense.
man, like
But I feel what
lack
you're
of
saying,
knowledge,
and I
man.
totally
Lack of
agree.
knowledge
Because
all day. Hate is lack
when
of
I was,
knowledge, man.
when
Because ain't
my
no way you hate me for being myself. Ain't no way you hate me for something that I can't control. I can't control I was born like this, you know? Like, or
exactly.
I can't hate that, I was born into something. Like, it's crazy to me. I
Yeah,
don't know.
hate
When
is a
when my
word.
daughters were young and in elementary school, and then Jed, you can definitely take over. When my kids were in elementary school, they thought I was white. So like their teachers, their friends, they would tell them all, "Mama white." And it wasn't until they had their first white tea
Hello?
European friend that basically told them, "Oh no," and I'm not even gonna lie to you. She said, "Your mama not white, your mama fat," and I. I remember my kids came home and was like, that whatever her name was, we'll call her Karen, baby Karen. Um, baby Karen said that you weren't white, you were fat. And I was like, true. But I remember like I wrote a note and went and taped it to her parents' door. And much to your point, that was what the note said. Like my daughter and your daughter were amazing friends before she realized that we were a color. Thank you. Like you're part of the problem. And
Right.
literally take
Mhm.
a note to her door. You're
You know
part
as
of
well.
the
You know
problem.
how I know that I was different color to my mom was when other kids at school told me.
Tell her I'm fat all day. It's real.
I know. That's why I was like, "Yo,
Look here. It's
I love
it's
that. That's
it's
perfect."
bros from different area codes and shades that Chase Chubby salute to y'all. Every day they wake up. So I'm not concerned about that. But the moral of the
No, but
story is,
Melissa, can I? Because it's really important to me as well. Because I'm obviously pet as a motherfucker. I got white friends that are like darker than me, yeah, and they like I never knew I was a different color to my mom until the kids at school told me, and they said, "Oh," and they didn't say you're a different color to your mom. They said, "Oh, didn't know you was adopted." I said, "What?" I'm adopted. What am I adopted? I didn't know I was adopted. I was thinking, oh my god, what? I'm adopted. Like, learn now what adopted means. Like, this whole conversation right by these benches at the end of school year. And then my mum picked me up from school and I said, Mum, I didn't know I was adopted. She said, what? No, you're not. Of course you're not. Oh, she was like, oh, you don't understand. We're a different color. Look, you're a different color to me. But I was like, oh, but that's my mom. And it's only until everyone else points it out. And that's how racism begins because people point it out.
Right.
They point it out, and then you experience. I put this picture up for a specific reason. That's me and my brothers and my sister. Okay. Now, y'all know that the fat one is me, right?
I
That's
love
me.
this family. Look, y'all look like you
That
passed
was
us.
me. Now the one in front, right in front of me, him and I, full, same mom, same dad. Look at the difference in complexion. Between the two, who do you think was the criminal? The lighter of the two. But between the two,
Plead the fifth.
Between the two, who do you think suffered the most?
The browner.
My brother Junie, the one in front of me, same mom, same dad, darker complexion, went through so much more than I did, and I did so much more than he did. You have to. It's learned, and when you're the recipient of said hatred, it turns you into that same hatred. And then it's just a vicious circle that constantly goes round and round. And you got
we're breaking that cycle. That's why we're doing this shit. Help people. We're not doing that.
Point, someone has to say stop.
Stop.
Unfortunately, for my brother, It didn't stop until he was until he was put in the ground. I lost my brother, and I hate that because we got along great. But I show this picture to show you that you know not everything is black and white.
Mm-hmm.
People want to make it black and white, but it's not. There are so many different shades in there that every individual. This is how people get lost in the cracks
Mm-hmm.
because it's not black and white. You can't let anyone fall through the cracks. If you let them fall through the cracks, that circle is going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I lost my brother, but I damn sure wasn't going to lose another one.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to break the circle. And I did everything I could to try to break the circle. I raised my kids a certain way. I'm teaching Elizabeth a certain way. I'm very proud of her. She you knew the things that she put up with and how she come out through. I'm trying my best, but it's a learning. Even to this day, it's still a learning process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So trying that at the end of every stream, I always tell the same thing. I always say the same thing. Please look out for those less fortunate than you.
Mm-hmm.
Give them an ear. Give give them an ear to listen to them, a shoulder to cry on. If you can spare $1 or two, that's fine. But you don't have to give money. You can give your time. If you
Mm-hmm.
show your significant other that you see them and what they've been through or what they're going through, that means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna land there. I gotta get back now. I gotta cut the fish up. I'm sorry, but I gotta do it.
You on do
Wait, hold on. Oh my
what's
God, what's
cool?
the name of that movie?
100 Watch
Look,
you ain't been
hold
in. I
on.
mean, new
Hey,
TV.
anybody want to watch a good movie? It's called Beyond the Lights. It is a prime example of what he just talked about, bro.
Okay.
Beyond the
Put
Lights,
it
bro.
in the
Think that's the name
well,
of it.
put it in
Beyond
the
the
chat
Lights.
when you get a minute to type so that we can so that we won't forget the name of it. Watch, you want to jump in and
I
give
can't hear nothing.
anything?
I just I just I mean he pretty much just said what I was thinking, just listening, just I need just it'd be important for people like us to make sure that we understand that this is a human problem. Like it's not just a black man or a white man type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a human thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that because for me growing up, like being partially black and being partially Hispanic, like me going to school and speaking Spanish, like black people were looking at me fucking crazy. Like I'm telling, I get clowned all the time. Like, what are you like, nigga? What are you Mexican, nigga? You too, like they all of the disrespect that would come from me speaking Spanish. And then going to the Spanish side of my family, be like, nah, bro, you ain't even touched the soil. You're not really a part of us. Like you ain't even touched the soil for real. So we can't even fuck with you. And then just as time goes on, with me having less people to speak Spanish to, I start forgetting certain things and it just don't click the same. So then now me being an adult and I go around their family, they really don't even talk to me at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't speak the native language. You ain't never touched the soil, so you're not really a part of us. So good luck, big dog. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I don't understand why we as humans be doing that shit to each other when everybody
I
like it's the
understand
same experience on it's the same exact experience on each side of the Rubik's cube, but for some reason we keep looking at it like our color is different than the other side of the Rubik's cube.
that. No doubt
You muted
about it.
yourself, so
I feel like
Oh
that's
shit.
why I have a hard
Uh,
time to some extent with people who, like, let's just say I have a really, really, really dope friend named Finn the Human. Shout out to Finn. Who is boy, if you were to run into Finn in the middle of the street, you think Finn was a skinhead. But I'm telling you, Finn is more ethnic on the inside of his soul than most people that I know that were born a blue black shade. And I remember Finn and I were doing a podcast together one day, and somebody told him that he couldn't be a part of the conversation because he wasn't black. And I got so offended. Like, wait, what? Because to me, it wasn't about the fact that Finn didn't have any control over who his mama laid down with, who his daddy and Jack. You know what I'm saying? He had nothing to do with that. But he found a culture or a community of people that he thought he best fit in, he wanted to love on, he wanted to represent, he wanted to run the streets, he wanted to do all of that. So much so that it wasn't even one of those situations where it was like, oh, you're only black when you outside, but when white privilege comes, you gonna run to the other side. No, he left home type. You know what I'm saying? He went against his household type to be a part of that vibe, that community, that culture. And so I guess to kind of wrap it up, my question to the panel is color, or is what you identify as, simplified by a color, a checkbox, Hispanic, non-Hispanic, black, white, or can we accept Eminem coming into the hood? Can we accept letting Tiger Woods stay over there on the European side if that's where he want to go, without calling him a jiggle or wiggle or whatever the case may be? Maybe that's just where he relate at, and that's okay. We will go ahead and take him and trade him over and take two of somebody else that want to be over here. So my question is, I mean, is it really that simple? Or is it that complicated?
Yo, you know, I live in this light skin, and lately I've not been in the sun more than, you know, because I've been like depressed and trying to fucking blink and breathe, yeah. But my dad's a white ginger man, yeah. Do you know how white ginger men are, yeah? And my mom is Guyanese, and like, you know, so I get told all the time, oh, you mean Ghana, not Guyana. No, I actually mean Guyana, because I know where I'm from. Like, you know, and like everyone I know my family's from Guyana. Like, but then, so then when you speak, oh, are you Jamaican? Are you speaking like that because you're Jamaican? No, I'm not. I'm from fucking Guyana. Like, Jamaica is not the only place in the Caribbean. So it's like people are so ignorant. And even when you try to tell them, like, don't ask me a question and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, because I promise you I know what I'm talking about when I tell you where I come from. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I know you know that because you know where I'm going already. Like, but this is the whole thing. It's like, just because I got light ass skin, yeah, doesn't mean I'm not black. And black is not a skin color, it is a culture. And obviously, I know as well, in the same sentence, I do understand as a fucking pale person that's like lighter than my white friends, yeah, that I don't receive racism in the same way as my black, actual physically colored skin, home, like family and red state and friends, whatever. Like, I get that. I'm not stupid, yeah. But then that's not my fault either. But then I don't get accepted from either side because I'm not white enough, I'm not black enough. And it's like, so then who's gonna want me? So it's also like people forget about us too, because we're out here. Like, I promise you, like, we're out here. Like, and it's not my fault. I didn't ask to be the strongest woman to meet the egg that day. It's not my fault.
Shout out to the swimmers out here. We made it.
You know what I mean? I won the race against millions that day, but I still get told I'm not good enough for anybody.
You said that, and I'm imagining you being outside with some brown skinned people and police coming fucking with y'all, and they get mad at you like, why they ain't fuck with you? But like, why you mad at me? That ain't my fault. They won't fucking with me. Like,
yeah, I mean, sorry. Jed, would you like to leave some closing remarks on that one, or you already didn't say what you gonna say?
Unless he's still cutting that fish.
Unless he's still cutting, he out there.
Well, because if you not see my mom and that's what you don't understand the
everybody go to Jed house. What'd you say, Just Start?
Like, because I think as well, like, I'm not sure what that the last comment was, but it doesn't really make sense to me, because obviously you've seen a picture of my mom. Like, my mom is like, it looks cool, isn't it? Yeah, like, you know, for Guyanese things, and it's like, you know, I'm so sick of being told what I am rather than being like this. Like, what? Stop asking me a question and telling me what I am, and then like expecting me not, like, because I promise you, white people do honestly treat me the same way. Like, even though you might not see it, and I know it's not the same way like in America, because America is different to the UK, and that's a whole different conversation. But I promise you, like, I'm not allowed to be anywhere. Like, my mom told me from day dot, like, you know, if Hitler was in action, you'd be back again. Like, you're coming too. Like, you know, so that's all I ever know. And it's like, rah, so who wants me then? So it's like, don't forget about us lot too. It's amazing how we get forgotten about.
No doubt about it. Jed, I did see you pop back in. I don't know if you popped in to stay in or not. 100 watts, would you like to give? Would you like to comment on that? Close remark?
Closing. I think people are so beautiful and ugly at the same time that it makes it too interesting to not want to interact with people.
Facts.
I think that when you go out in the world and you find people that are your people that fuck with the same things that you fuck with and can understand the same concepts that you understand and things of that sort, like those things are so beautiful. Interacting with these people, even on the other side of going outside and running into someone that you don't agree with and being able to have a full conversation, like just something as simple as Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. I think it's LeBron James, you think it's Michael Jordan, and we don't agree, but we just sat here for a whole hour and a half talking about it and walked away respectfully. Like
Mm-hmm.
those things are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But there is the ugly side of human beings where they're self-preservation, territorial. If you don't look like me, then we can't get along. All of those ugly things that come with humans. And I think this thing that happens when you interact with people, I think just the spectrum of how those things can fall is so beautiful that it's important to not get so stuck in being stuck in these panels behind the screen and being stuck in the house on your phone and stuff like that. Like even though these disgusting things do happen outside, you still need to be able to get outside and go interact with people and go touch people. And it don't always have to be people that look like you in order for you to succeed. I think that's beautiful.
No doubt about it. Agreed. Gifted?
Um, to be honest, like, I mean, the brother 100 watts, like he basically just saying everything that I would say. Like that's basically what I was saying when I said earlier. Like at
Mm-hmm.
some point, it's not about color. It's a soul game that we playing. You know what I'm saying? Like we all are one people when it comes to like consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he just said, you know if I go outside and I find somebody that fuck with the same thing that I fuck with, but we ain't the same skin color, like does that make them any less of an enjoyable person?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, like I said, like, I'm in the like I said, I'm like whenever I come on these panels, man, like I'm coming in like I don't even like to say spiritual because even that community done got fucked up. But
Say
like
that.
I'm just coming in a very aware way. So it's like to me, like, like I said, it's a soul game that we playing, and I could go, I could take y'all to my crystal supplier right now. They white as hell, but they got more soul in their body than some black people I know. You know what I'm saying? Like they more realer than some black people that claim to be real. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So like to me, like I said, I don't really, too much dwell with color because, when you start trying to pay attention to color and things like that, lines get blurred. You miss a lot of beautiful points, a lot of beautiful moments that could be shared and remembered for, a long time. Like, even like I I was hesitant earlier to get on here, but even when the dude said earlier, he said that friendships aren't meant to last forever. Like, that's a lie. I don't like, like that concept is not true because I got friends that I've been friends with for about 10 to 12 years now. You
I'm
feel what
still
I'm
friends with
saying?
my friends
And
from elementary.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
friends.
yeah. So
These
even to
40
say that,
years.
like, even when he was like, when it comes to love, love isn't meant to last forever because somebody won't be the same person 2 years from now. Well, when you're dating somebody or even being a friend, they're not going to be the same person tomorrow because we're constantly changing and evolving every single day.
Mm-hmm.
When you working on yourself, when you trying to do the work and become a better person, you're not going to be the same person. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't believe in the whole, I'm really a beautiful person when it comes to people. Like, the people, the human race, like it can be very beautiful, but just like anything in the
Uh-oh.
Did he freeze?
Yeah, he froze.
Oh, that's tough. That's
Yeah,
real
what's
tough.
someone
not
went
beautiful
out.
about it.
Yo, he was talking fucking sense.
He
Yeah.
was. There you go. You back.
All right, now
Yeah,
you.
he Yeah, that was crazy, bro. Like, nah, like I got friends that my mom got friends that she's been friends with since I was a baby. You feel what I'm saying? Like, seriously, like I'm 30 now. My mom been friends with these people before I was a baby. You feel what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's like, nah, when it comes to, like Hunter Watt said, like I'm basically on the same type of time he on. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't really see color. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't really see color. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and you want to know what taught me that too before I became aware? Believe it or not, in my youth, it was gang banging that taught me to be like that. You feel what I'm saying? Because I was the set that I was pushing, it was a set called Bounty Hunter, but the whole point of them, like, they're colorblind, like that's their thing, they're colorblind. So it's like the only color they see is green. We don't see no other color. So it's like it don't matter whether you're a Crip, whether you're a GD, Latin King, whatever you want to be, as long as we can make money together, see eye to eye, respect each other as men, then we good. You feel what I'm saying? And I took that concept and applied that to life. And it's like, you a man, I'm a man. What I'm gonna disrespect you for? You got some interesting views, I do too. Let's try to make some money off it. Let's build a beautiful moment. You feel what I'm saying? Like, like my, I don't know. I got a big mind, so it's like, I can be just as aware as I can be. I can be just as street too, because I've seen both sides of it. I've seen both sides of it. Like, and I lived my young life a little bit faster than I should. So it's like, yeah, man. Yeah.
That's a strange thing because I don't hear too many people acknowledge that. Listen, all all my values that I've learned throughout my life, well, throughout my young life, was from the gangs.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the weird thing.
Yeah,
All my
for
values,
sure, for
all
sure.
my tribalistic um, rituals that I go through, I learned. My honor, my honor system, my honor based system was learned from the gangs.
Yeah, from
You know,
gangs. Yeah, yeah.
I learned a man is only worth what his word is worth.
Right,
You're nothing without your word.
right,
If you had a choice, I learned this with the gangs. If you had a choice to live with it, and you had to choose, and you had to choose between living with a liar or living with a thief, always pick the thief because you know the thief is going to steal from you, but the
right.
liar is going to get you killed.
The liar steal your shit and then help you look for it.
But the thing is, a lot of people don't understand. Like, I went to the gangs because I felt I needed the male figure. I needed a male figure.
Yeah, I don't know my dad either. I don't know
You
my
know,
dad
my
at
dad was
all.
not a good male figure. My dad was a horrible male figure. So, but you know what? I'm veering off. I'm veering off. What I wanted to say is, if anyone thinks and picks LeBron over Jordan, there's something inherently wrong with them. They need to go get themselves checked.
I
And
agree.
with that being said, because
They
Lord have
crazy.
mercy,
Yeah, you ain't
with that
lying.
being said, you ain't got to go home, but y'all got to get out of here with the sports talk. I'm already outnumbered by the three men and the lady. No, we're not doing that. I love y'all. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 4 of the Intellectual Soapbox. Again, thank you for everybody who joined in the chat. Salute to everybody who joined the panel. I love y'all big time. You know, this be my favorite part is the after party. We trying to be here every Wednesday evening, somewhere between 8 and I got to brush my hair, spike it up. Light skinned people time. We all the same color, just different shades, is how I heard a man put it one day. So just know that I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in with Malysa the Exclusive. We will see you next time. Salute.
The DJ.